بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Now you must know all by now why there's ayat muhkamat have multiple meanings, and why there's ayat mutashabihat. Muhkamat have one meaning and mutashabihat have multiple meaning. So that's by itself is a miracle that the Quran is actually sent by the creator of the heavens and earth, and the one who knows what's coming later in history, 500 years later, 1,000 years later, 2,000 years later, we don't know. So there's still a lot of hidden treasures in the Quran. We will come inshallah to discover, and probably that's left for the next generation and next and next. So هو الذي ينزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات. So we finished that ayah last week, and this week we have to we'll go to the next topic, which is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين كفروا لن تغني عنهم أموالهم ولا أولادهم من الله شيئا وأولئك هم وقود النار. So those who disbelieved, neither their money nor their children will protect them. Allah will not accept any intercession from anyone for the unbelievers, and they will not be able to offer any compensation or any ransom or anything similar. So they will have to be punished by Allah Azza wa Jal. Even Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, he could not save his own son. And Allah Azza wa Jal said, he is not your son, the spiritual son. إنه ليس من أهلك إنه عمل غير صالح. So you have your family who are your biological family, and you have your family who are your spiritual family. So Mus'ab bin Umair, when he was fighting in Badr, he come from a very rich family, and he saw his brother became a prisoner of war to one of the Sahaba. So he said to him, make sure he doesn't escape, because he has a very rich mother and you will get a really high ransom. And he said to him, I'm your brother. You should side with me, not side. He said, no, you're not my brother. He is my brother. So you are my enemy. And the same when one of the children of Abu Bakr, who wasn't believer yet, he was fighting the Prophet ﷺ and the Muslims in Badr. Again, after he became Muslim, he came to Abu Bakr, his father, and he said, I saw you in Badr, but I didn't want to come and fight you. I avoided you. He said, if I saw you in Badr, I would have killed you, because fighting Allah and His Messenger. So that's my side. So here, their family and their children, they are not going to protect them the day of judgment, and they will be the fuel of hellfire. Interesting, because the hellfire, what's the fuel of hellfire?
Humans and stones.
And stones, yeah. وقودها الناس قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة. And that's another example of the Quran coming for the 21st century and 22nd, 23rd. Because how will the stones become a fuel to hellfire? Who would imagine that the stone, you can get fire out of it? I haven't got any. I have Suleiman, is only A-level. Yeah?
An atom split.
Yeah. When you split the atom, you destroy Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Moscow. So we were talking on Sunday about Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, لَخَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. So here, before you leave the ayah, وَقُودُهَا, the fuel is people and stones. So Allah Azza wa Jalla obviously here, how would stones become fuel? You have to travel to the 21st century and 20th century and see yes, that's actually happened. And they were burned to ashes instantly in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So we're talking about on Sunday about لخلق السماوات والأرض أكبر من خلق الناس. And why is that? That the creation, verily the creations of the heavens and earth, is dua here. Oh, you will have one answer. Oh, we had last week's homework. Yeah, how it is that the khalq. No, this week is homework. You could get an answer for the question. لخلق السماوات والأرض أكبر من خلق الناس. Verily, the creation of the heaven and earth is greater matter than the creation of man. Yes, yet most men understand not. So that's again another thing showing that the Quran is actually for 20th century, 21st, 24th, 25th. And we were talking about you can, if you have the atoms, you can make something out of it. But if you don't have the atom, then you need to create an atom. So to create an atom of helium, you need 2 atoms of heavy hydrogen, and then you need a huge temperature to fuse them. To get the temperature, we have to split the atom. So we need atomic bomb to create that massive temperature and massive energy to fuse the hydrogen. And to split the atom, you need TNT to explode. TNT will explode, destroy a building. Splitting the uranium will destroy Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Nottingham, God forbid. And the hydrogen bomb will destroy West Midlands, 7.5 million. So to create one atom, how much energy you need? Then you can, so it's easy once you have the atom to create man and create, plants and fish and sea and things. But this is the ayah. لخلق السماوات والأرض أكبر من خلق الناس. You can't interpret the ayah at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. They accept it. They believe in it. They believe it's correct, but they can't interpret the ayah, how it is that the creation of heavens and earth is far much greater. And many actually answered this question wrong. I need to correct it. This is why I have this homework. It's my homework is actually a bit different than the average homework. I'll show you an example from the homework. Has to be English. So if you go to my homework, is there life after death? So probably you will choose to come to our Sunday school, get registered. So you put your name, your class you attend, and you need to watch the video. This is the class, the lesson. So you watch a lesson, and you answer the question, yes or no, or I don't know. If it's correct, you get 1 plus 1. If it's wrong, you get -1. If you don't know, you get 0. So life after death. Is it clear enough?
Yeah.
I'll make it a bit bigger. Having it's life that confirmed by the Bible, Quran, ability to clone, multiply the DNA on the Day of Judgment. The atheist says that. Confirmed by the atheist by the ability of the originator to create, original creator to recreate, or I don't know. Allah said the creation of the heavens and earth is greater than creating man. true or false. The creation of man is the greatest. The creation of animals is the greatest. I don't know. So these are questions. So this is those who died and came back and things. And so when you go to the Quran and you go to the ayah, every ayah actually has perhaps a miracle in it, within it, and we only need to dig to be. We have to be scientists. What attracted me to my teacher in Damascus, that he had a lot of scientific knowledge. He's like reading astronomy, physics, chemistry, biology, and he had in deep information about medicine as well, which also was. So this is really, ability to attract the educated population. So you go back to Al Imran, ayah 10. So أولئك هم وقود النار, they will be them and the stones. So this is why when we are told about the temperature, it's too high. And then there's a hadith that the fire of hellfire doesn't emit light. فلهبها لا يضيء. Again, you need to come to the 21st century to understand. How is that? Why lahabuha? It's heat, it's burning, but it doesn't emit light.
Because it's the last stage.
It's microwave.
Yeah, it's microwave now. Until we came, when we bought the microwave, I said to my wife, come and see this miracle. There's no fire, but you put your hand, you burn your hand. So probably similar, we don't know, means you need to travel to 21st. This is why ayat mutashabihat and hadith the same. In hadith, there is a lot of information the Sahaba didn't actually dare to ask. And that's another ayah which Allah Azza wa Jal said in the Quran, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu la tas'alu. Back to English.
So what's the ayah that says that there's heat but no light?
It's in the hadith. فَلَهَبُهَا لَا يُضِيء. لَهَبُهَا, the flame of hellfire. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Allah Azza wa Jal heated hellfire for 1,000 years until it became red, and he heated it another 1,000 years until it became white, and then he heated it another 1,000 years and it became black. فَلَهَبُهَا لَا يُضِيء. That's another miracle. When they show you the temperature, they show you the red, and the white is hotter, and then the black more hot. So why they chose black for the most hot? To go with the hadith. Subhanallah. And فَلَهَبُهَا لَا يُضِيء. What I was going to say. So the will be the fuel of hellfire. And what can you do? كدأب آل فرعون, giving example about those who were kafirin, unbelievers. كدأب آل فرعون والذين من قبلهم كذبوا بآياتنا فأخذهم الله بذنوبهم والله عزيز ذو انتقام. Their plight will be no better than those of the people of Pharaoh. Why the people of Pharaoh will be led by Pharaoh to hellfire? Wasn't he forcing them? Was he not forcing them? And then they have no choice.
No, they have a choice. The magician against.
But why
they accepted?
All the army they joined with Pharaoh?
Because they didn't accept it.
But
they have a choice.
But were they forced to join the army, or did they agree? Were they forced to join Pharaoh?
They just followed.
They're taking orders.
Again, it's in the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jal said, there's Aleph here.
I am your God, you need to worship.
No. فاستخف قومه فأطاعوه. He played on their feeble-mindedness, on their idiocy, on their foolness. Thus he make fool of his people. Oh, you don't understand, you are not, you're rubbish. And then terrified, so they obeyed him. They أطاعوه. If they didn't obey him, they obey them. This is why they will go the same way he will go. فاستخف قومه فأضعوا. Now, when I listen to them news, especially news concerning the like a budget and economy, and they laugh at people, and people are idiots, and they follow them. So, oh, it was Putin who started the Ukraine war, caused the inflation. It was the Corona. It was the COVID-19. It was the Saudi. It was these producers. But you've been printing money day and night, and now I don't know what's happening to the dollar, because the gold is going sky high, and Bitcoin going sky high is 70,000 a Bitcoin. Who's buying it? They're moving out of the dollar, and the stock market going up. So you have the stock market going up, the gold going up, and the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency going up. And the only thing going down is the dollar. So what's happening now? People started losing trust in the dollar, or more people hate the dollar, and you will find that probably the world will be better, because they keep printing dollar, and they're living on the expense of other nations. They have 33 trillion debt in America. So they bought for 33 trillion. You would buy all Europe with it. Everything in every supermarket, in every car shop, dealership, in every every retailer, everything you can buy with that in Europe for the 33 trillion. So this is فاستخف قومه. So this is what the American did. They استخف the mentality of the world. Now only the stock market high. Stock market in Europe is low, still around 7,000 in Britain. FTSE 100. It has been like this for 20 years. Why they're not buying the British stocks? They go and invest their money in America. So Allah Azza wa Jal is showing this what Pharaoh did. سخف قومه فأطاعوه, and they denied the signs of Allah Azza wa Jal. فأخذهم الله بذنوبهم. Allah didn't destroy them because they were just not believing in Him. Allah tested them once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5. 10 big signs brought by Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. 9 ayat in the Quran, bayinat, and they kept rejecting until they had enough. They went to kill the Musa and his people, and then Allah Azza wa Jal destroyed them. So that's why I need that there to remind me when to stop. Wallahu shadidul iqab. So Allah doesn't, there's no book on the earth, but they write, we wrote this book when we try to check everything right and things. Please forgive us if you find any mistake or we apologize in advance on things. And if you don't agree with us, I'm sorry, might have right and you might be true. Here Allah Azza wa Jal said, if you disagree with Allah Azza wa Jal, you will have severe punishment. Allahu Aziz Shadidul Iqab. Allah have severe punishment. He will punish with His might and His ability. And then He said, قُلْ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَتُغْلَبُونَ وَتُحْشَرُونَ إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ وَبِئْسَ الْمِهَادِ. Here Allah is talking about the kafirin. And this is why Sahaba became Muslims, because Allah is saying in Mecca to the kafirin who were torturing the Muslims and put them in house arrest, and they tortured them, and they punished all the slaves, and they even hit Umar ibn Khattab when he became Muslim, and they kept hitting him until somebody came and said, look, he has come from the tribe of Adi, and are you able to fight Adi? So just back off. And then they left him. So, and at that time Allah revealed this ayah, قُلْ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَتُغْلَبُونَ وَتُحْشَرُونَ إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ وَبِئْسَ الْمِهَادِ. Say to the unbelievers, you will soon you will be defeated and will be gathered in hellfire, and that will be the worst destiny for them. Like the ayah, سَنَسِمُهُ عَلَى الْخُرْطُومِ. Allah talk about Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, who was so arrogant. سَنَسِمُهُ عَلى الْخُرْطُومِ. We'll chop his nose, because they They take from, because they eat camel meat, because the camel like this. They probably. So Allah just said, then a Simon will chop his nose. When he was killed in Badr, the Sahaba came and we saw something strange. The Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, what? His nose chopped. He said, did he? Show me. Is that right? That the ayah mentioned in Mecca that his nose will be chopped off. ستغلبون وتحشرون إلى جهنم وبئس المهاد قد كان لكم آية في فئتين التقتا فئة تقاتل في سبيل الله وأخرى كافرة. Now the Quran, the ayahs came in different time but put in one surah. Like that ayah came in Mecca, and then Allah saying, talking here about after Badr. قد كان لكم في آيتين في آية في فئتين التقتا. Have example in two groups met each other, one of them fighting for the sake of Allah, and the other one is unbelievers, were unbelievers. And that's when scholars teach us the ayah from grammatic and Arabic structure. He says, فئة تقاتل في سبيل الله. One group will be fighting for the sake of Allah, and the other one will be fighting for the sake of shaitan. But he didn't say that. He said, أخرى كافرة. Because you will know straight away yourself that they were fighting for the sake of shaitan. So Allah use a definition to them straight away that they are kafirin, although they are fighting for the sake of shaitan. Because some people could be fighting for the sake of shaitan, like if you go to the Iranis, they will talk about America as Shaitanul Akbar. So whoever fighting for America could be shaitan. But it might be there are Muslims fighting for America. We don't know. Where the Saudi fighting for America in the Gulf War, or we don't know. When the 1990 war took place, many Muslims turned against Saudi and the Kuwait and the Gulf because they brought America to the Middle East. But who was fighting on the right? Who was fighting on the wrong? Do you want Saddam to take Kuwait or not? And probably now we would say perhaps it was better, because now the Kuwaiti, they want to charge the foreigners for inhaling the oxygen of Kuwait. And who said that? A member of the parliament. One famous lady, and she said it. So قد كان لكم في آية في فئتين فئة تقاتل في سبيل الله وأخرى كافرة يرونهم مثليهم رأي العين. When they looked into the Muslim, when they looked into the kafirin in Badr, they saw them. One of them said, "Oh, they're probably 100." The other guy said, "No, hardly above 70 of them. We are 300, so we are twice as much. So we'll defeat them." There's another ayah, يُرِيكَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي أَعْيُنِكُمْ كَثِيرًا وَيُقَلِّلُكُمْ فِي أَعْيُنِهِمْ. ويقللكم به ليقضي الله أمرا كان مفعولا وإذ يريكهم الله إذ التقيتم في أعينكم قليلا ويقللكم في أعينهم ليقضي الله أمرا كان مفعولا وإلى الله ترجع الأمور. So Allah Azza wa Jal made the Muslims see the kafirin, few of them. So one said, "Oh, it could be 100." There were 1,040, and the Muslims were 300. So they saw them 80. One said 100, he said no, 80, probably even 70. And the kafirin looked at the Muslims and they saw them, it's quite few, it was just 70 people, 50 people, will just brush them off in no time. وَيُقَلِّلُكُمْ فِي أَعْيُنِهِمْ. Allah showed the Muslim few in the eye of the kafirin, because Allah Azza wa Jal wants this war to take place. Allah wanted the war to take place, so He made them look tempted to fight each other, because we will finish them very quickly. For Allah do all that Allah Azza wa Jal might accomplish a matter already enacted. He said that this is why He wanted them to have the fight and finish the fight, and this is how He made them look like to each other. So قد كان لكم آية في فئتين التقتا، فئة تقاتل في سبيل الله وأخرى كافرة يرونهم مثليهم رأي العين. Like looking at them, we're twice as much as them. And والله يؤيد بنصره من يشاء. Allah will make whoever He likes wins. He will support whoever He likes. And people who have a brain should take a lesson from that war, from the war of Badr. In Surah Al-Imran, we will come across stories about Badr and Al-Khandaq, more about not Al-Khandaq, Ahud, the war of Ahud. In Surah Al-Ahzab, you will read about the war of Al-Khandaq, the Maut. And then there's a different topic now. Probably we'll leave it to now after Ramadan. Now this is the last study cycle, inshallah, and then we'll start after Ramadan. Will be I'm planning وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله